As I said at the top of the show, the president last week addressed the criticism that Iranian protesters never stood a chance without weapons. Well, speaking to Trey Yingst of Fox News, he said the US did try to arm the Iranians by sending weapons to the Kurds who stole them. Well, joining me to respond to that is bafڵ Taڵەbani. He's the president of the Patriotic Union of Kurdistan. Welcome back to Uncensored.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
Did you steal them?
No, I didn't actually. But, you know, Kurdistan is a tale of two cities. We're kind of a country, but not a country. We have a government that's not really a government. I can guarantee you on the Soleimani side, not a peep was stolen. And I think you have enough friends in the administration to confirm that. I can't speak for the other side.
So what was your view of what President Trump said?
I mean, if that's the case, and I'm sure that those words didn't come out of nowhere, I think it's absolutely shameful. I mean, if it's one thing to think that tactic of using the Kurds as the bulwark of the assaults was a bad idea, but it's a completely other thing to steal from your allies.
Mm. Will there be any repercussions?
I wouldn't want to steal from Mr. Trump, would you?
Not particularly. No.
I wouldn't. No, I presume there will be.
In terms of the wider war, what is your perspective on where we've reached here 6 weeks on?
Looking at it a bit differently, Mr. Morgan, I think that patience is required is the number one thing. But I think that instead of a small win, there could be the opportunity for a larger win if the Americans are thinking that way. And Mr. Trump's book indicates some of that. I think that if they concentrated on perhaps not just this immediate conflict, but all the things in the Middle East that contribute to this conflict and exasperate this conflict, perhaps there's an opportunity for a greater understanding and a bigger deal, a deal regarding the Palestinians, a deal regarding what's happening now in Lebanon, for example. I think if the American administration went for a bigger deal, absolutely it would take more time, but the victory would be colossal and it would be a change in the Middle East. It would be a real win. And I think the numbers in the upcoming elections in the United States would be very favorable to the Republicans.
It would
if
take...
they have the patience for that. Sorry, sir, please.
Well, no, I'd say, I think it would take a lot of patience. I'm not entirely sure that Donald Trump has a lot of that generally. And it would take a lot of commitment and money and so on. In terms of this idea of regime change,
yes.
There was a big piece in the New York Times a few days ago suggesting that Benjamin Netanyahu painted a picture to Trump, which Trump clearly bought into, that if you decapitated the leadership of Iran and killed the Ayatollah, that it would lead to regime change, that the IRGC would basically fragment and then collapse and the people would rise up and you would have a change of regime. Was that ever likely? And is that even possible, do you think?
Honestly, Mr. Morgan, I don't believe so. I think that the bombing campaigns have had the adverse effect. You can speak to Iranians. We do. Thousands of Kurds contact us. They can even tell who's bombing from the targets, Mr. Morgan. This may be something you haven't heard before. Every time a school is destroyed, every time a university is destroyed, every time a hospital is destroyed, they know it's not the Americans. I can't see how that's helpful. You can't bomb people into loving you. I just don't believe it. And I think the tactic is wrong. And it's having the adverse effect. We've seen people demonstrating who've been interviewed. Madam, you were here 6 months ago demonstrating against the regime. And they say, we're not demonstrating for the regime now. We're demonstrating for our country, for our land, for our soil. And that's understandable. I think your Kosovo example was extremely astute.
Yeah, it was passed to me by Kosovan. That's why I thought it had great credibility. And I was trying to think what would happen with the UK, for example, right?
Exactly.
If we were bombed here, however unpopular the government at the time, I think you would see people rally behind the country. I think it's an instinctive human reaction.
It's exactly that. It's a human reaction. I think one of the dangers is listening to the diaspora and to refugee communities. When we were in the UK, we were so against Saddam, we would have said anything. And I think that maybe the Iranians in America are wonderful, educated people. They may not be the right people to listen to. I think that the United States has great intelligence. They have very good friends that are very close to them. And I think that that's who they should be listening to. I'm optimistic now that the Pakistanis are sending a team to Tehran very soon to continue the negotiations. And I think one day where everything didn't go well shouldn't be the end of it. There was progress made, Mr. Morgan, on many of the smaller issues. I think a lot of progress was made. I've heard this from both sides. So I think given the opportunity for things to continue, and this ceasefire deadline isn't written in stone, it's very easy to extend things. And my hope is that people will see sense and realize that this is one of those conflicts that violence will not resolve.
Bafڵ Taڵەbani, thank you very much indeed. You're always welcome on Uncensored, not least because I think you're the only guest who regularly calls me Mr. Morgan, which I greatly appreciate. So, Mr. Taڵەbani, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Morgan.